items. Obviously, Book of the Dead I've talked about, and Ring of Protection, not too useful, but still quite. It's still quite okay, considering he's going against lots of bears and a demon hunter, and so he's going to be taking a lot of just sort of normal damage. And Moon does now pick up a Zeppelin, and picks up his demon hunter with that Zeppelin just to get away. And I think his staff was probably still on cooldown, but this expansion is now up and running for Nicker, and Moon's gonna have to be careful. He has rejuved his demon hunter, but he's gonna need to be careful, because with all these dryads they can just dispel it, and obviously you can dispel a lot faster than you can rejuvenate. And Moon now with master bears, but only 3 of them. I imagine he's just gonna be pumping them as quick as possible now. Actually getting Mark of the Claw, that's a bit surprising. I guess he just wants to waste Dryad's mana if they have auto cast on. But Book of the Dead being used in a very nice position there, and Moon forced to sort of kill those, because all those skeletons are getting in the way, and Moon's demon hunter is very low. He has to use his greater healing potion, and meanwhile a bear comes into the fight, and Moon using his archers very nicely, picking them up in a Zeppelin and then dropping them into a decent position. And the Goblin Shredder does go down for Nicker, and this Naga is very low as well, and I think it is going to get away though, because of the slow poison on the demon hunter. It's going to be hard to chase down. It does actually have to pop an invuln pot, but then stops running away, which is a bit of a mistake. He should definitely try and continue to get away, and Moon does have to TP out, and it looks like this Naga will actually get away just in time. And Moon actually forgets a bear. That's a bit careless of him, but immediately notices rejuvenates and goes into bear form, and Nicker should really cancel that rejuvenation, but I think he'll kill it anyways. He does cancel the rejuvenation, and it looks like the bear does go down eventually. And Nicker with 1/1 upgrades, as I said, upgrades quite important when you have the expansion up as well, just because you have that economy and you don't want to be wasting it all. And Nicker at 64 food, and Moon is significantly less, I'd imagine, 46 food, yeah. And so actually Moon's not actually mining that much less, because he's under upkeep, but really he doesn't have that much of a solution to these Dryads at this point. Obviously he has some archers, which are going to be nice, and the bears are just going to be nice for a bit of tanking, but really it's just not enough at this point. And Moon going in and shopping, probably going to buy an invuln pot and heal scroll, maybe just an invuln pot. No, he does buy the heal scroll. And a wisp now coming in, probably will be killed. Moon's likely to see it. Nicker might actually get the dispel. No, he doesn't. Or sorry, the detonate, but he doesn't. And level 5 on the demon hunter, as I said before, just so important. But look at Nicker's army; it really is very large. And any nice items? Claws of attack +6. Yeah, it's nothing really special, but the Priestess of the Moon obviously doing a fair bit of damage between searing arrows and true shot aura and stuff, and you really do need to be careful about that, because you can be caught off guard quite easily. And Nature's Blessing on this Ancient of War, which means that he's going to be quite good at tanking. And I don't think this is a fight Moon should take. I think Moon might want to... Actually, no, Moon's setting up some Ancient Protectors. That makes more sense. Those Ancient Protectors obviously going to be so strong against the Dryads and the couple Huntresses that are left, and that really puts a bit of a clock on Nicker to come and attack. But he's going to want to bring in his Ancient of War first, and if I were Moon, I'd just start beating away with this with archers now. But definitely shouldn't be tanking with his Demon Hunter, just sort of tanking this free damage. And there's Goblin Zeppelin would probably be quite useful for Moon. Obviously Moon has a great history of using Goblin Zeppelins well, and as soon as Nicker engages, you can see he has to run a bit back, because he had a couple low Dryads which were in the front, and they were tanking a bit too much. But Nicker's incredible focus fire really is doing a lot of damage here, and I think this is going pretty well for Nicker, all things considered. Moon is down by about like 25 food, and Moon just keeps on losing bears, but he is close to level 6 actually. If Moon can hit level 6, get Metamorphosis, that'll be very nice for him. And Nicker's hero is still only 4/3, so it's gonna be a while before we see either Starfall or Cyclone. And actually 4/4 now, still with an invuln pot on his Naga as well. That could be quite useful. But but Moon does hit level 6 just as these Ancient Protectors finish as well, and so I expect to see a lot of extra damage being done here, but I'm still not sure it's enough, because Moon really only has his Demon Hunter left, and I don't think that's enough, even though it is level 6. And Nicker actually brings in a Sapper, very nice there, and kills that. Kills both the Ancient Protectors. That's a very nice move for him. Nicker is forced to TP out, not to his expansion. He's just going to TP all the way out and heal up and then come back. And Moon's really going to want to take advantage of this time to try and do as much damage to his Tree of Life as possible. I'm not sure if he can even take it out in this time, because Nicker will be coming straight back, I imagine, and he might even TP back, but I don't think so. But with No, I guess he won't. But Moon really has no army at this point. I'm surprised he isn't producing more. I'm surprised he doesn't have more bears. But Moon does manage to take out that expansion. I think he must have used a sapper or something. Or maybe he didn't actually, sorry. But Metamorphosis is about to wear off, and Moon does need to be careful now. He does have an invuln pop, but he certainly doesn't want to waste it. And Moon's taking out as many heroes as he can, and he does just use his TP staff to get out, and lets that archer die. And immediately rejuving back on his Demon Hunter, and actually salving as well. Clearly he wants a whole bunch of mana. He does have a lot of mana in his Moonwells, but I guess he's deciding he wants to save it for some other time, although I'm not sure what time's better than present at this point. And Moon really needs to come up with something now. I think he just doesn't have enough bears at this point to actually win this, even with level 6 Demon Hunter. All Nicker needs to do is creep his Priestess of the Moon to 5, which is going to be really quick. He'll be able to do this with this camp, and his Dryads will just be doing so much damage, and they'll be so focused as well. No, sorry, they'll have such great focusing power as well. And I'm surprised Nicker hasn't gotten any more upgrades as well, especially considering he's at 50 food exactly. I really think he should get a couple more, maybe at least one attack upgrade. Nicker is now rebuilding his Tree of Life, but Moon certainly in no position to be expanding himself. Just a couple bears with him, and really if Nicker attacked now, it'd put Moon in a really bad position, and Moon would really need to camp by his base and use his Moonwell as well, which is I guess why he didn't use his Moonwells in the first place. But Moon getting a big Book of the Dead now, obviously much less useful for him than it was for Nicker, and Moon will have to probably have to sell that, because obviously they can just be dispelled by all these Dryads, which have more than enough mana. And Ancient of Wonders going out around in front of the Tree of Life as well. And is that Nicker's first Ancient of Wonders actually? Yeah, it's been a while. I'm surprised he didn't buy a staff, especially when he has 2 heroes, and obviously just the staff is so important. And Moon going shopping again, probably go buy actually no, he has an invuln pot as well. He does sell the Book of the Dead and buys an invisibility potion. I'm not sure what he's planning on doing. Maybe he's going to try and kill this Tree of Life again or something, and then staffing out. And meanwhile, Moon just creeping with his units as well. Obviously, Bear is really good for solo creeping. He does have backpack researched as well, but I don't think he's picked up any items. Maybe he did that for earlier, I didn't notice. Nicker really looks like he's going for quite a push now. He's pushed all the way from 50 to 62 food really quickly. He's done that in Mercs, which means that he's just going to have a really effective push really quick, and really powerful and decisive. And Moon now moving his Demon Hunter in and just cancelling this the actual entangled mine rather than the Tree of Life itself. And still solo creeping actually, which is a bit surprising because he has a Demon Hunter level 6, so all he's really going to be getting is a tiny amount of extra gold, and I think it's just not worth it, just because he has to take all this damage on his creeps, or sorry, on his units, and just for really not that much. But I guess there's not really much else he can do with his units, so he may as well get that sort of extra gold and maybe come back from if he gets a good item or something. I guess with backpack he can just bring all the good items with him. And Moon now getting in a bit of a bad position here. He does have a staff which he is able to use, and I think he will get out in time. Forked Lightning being used, but it just wasn't enough. And I'm immediately getting rejuved back up, and I'm not sure, I don't think Moon actually ever picked up the items with his backpacked units, but it's not the end of the world. And Moon 6 and a bit now, but obviously he won't be 7 for a while, just because he is just creeping at this point. But you can see Nicker's brought really all the creeps apart from the Shadow Priest, I think, which makes sense because you don't really want a Shadow Priest, but you do want a Berserker. You do want the ability to slow, especially slow the Demon Hunter with and considering Moon has no Dryads, and an Ogre Mauler just to sort of tank a lot of damage. And Moon, I'm not sure if he scouted this army incoming, or he just had sort of his 6th sense, but he is now running back. He didn't finish creeping it, and 0-1 upgrades on his units. I guess that's just because of the focusing power from Nicker. And Moon now without a staff, I think, or sorry, a TP staff, being forced to let that bear die, and I think Moon's now going to be in a lot of trouble with this attack here. This is probably going to end the game in favour of Nicker, which is actually going to be quite nice for him. Moon uses Metamorphosis, and Nicker does run back, but it's a slowed Demon Hunter, so it's significantly less powerful. And I think Nicker just needs to get some good positioning and move in, but it looks like he's actually decided to stall for a bit longer. I guess with this expansion up, he has no reason to rush ending the game, and Moon bringing back all his units now. He does have, you can see he's put his items, the creepers items on it, a Ring of Protection, Mantle of Intelligence, so a couple nice items there from Moon, and Claws of Attack as well. I mean, obviously he's not going to keep most of these items, he's just going to sell them, but you know, it's free gold, you can't really complain, and it's almost enough gold to sort of buy a bear or something, so pretty nice. And still 1-1 upgrades on the Dryads. I think with so many he'd want to get a couple more upgrades, but I guess not. I guess you're just going for numbers at this point, although he is at 78 food, he almost certainly doesn't want to push into high upkeep, at least not yet. And Moon taking a lot of damage on the Zeppelin. I think Moon has sort of forgotten about it, or just let it be there to scout. And meanwhile, I think Nicker's probably going to put up an expansion here, maybe not. It would certainly be quite nice to, but I think he has enough of an economic advantage as it is. Nicker now on 80 food, and Moon probably on 50ish, 58 food.